Hey there, space and defense enthusiast, or maybe I should say cosmic strategist. Ever looked up at the stars and wondered if humanity's next big conflict might take place not on Earth but in orbit? Well, buckle up because Russia has just upped the ante with its latest announcement, a nuclear-powered space weapon. Yes, you heard that right, nukes in space. It's equal parts terrifying and fascinating. So let's break it down together. First things first, what are we talking about here? According to recent reports and some eyebrow-raising leaks, Russia is developing what they're calling a nuke-based space platform. Think of it as a satellite armed with a nuclear payload designed for several potential purposes. Anti-satellite warfare. The weapon could be used to destroy enemy satellites, crippling communication networks, GPS systems, or even military reconnaissance capabilities. Electromagnetic pulse, EMP attacks. Detonating a nuclear device in space could create an EMP capable of frying electronics across vast areas on Earth, potentially knocking out power grids, financial systems, and more. Orbital strike capability. Some analysts believe this tech could allow Russia to launch precision strikes from space onto terrestrial targets within minutes. A concept straight out of sci-fi movies like Star Wars. While details remain murky because, well, it's classified, one thing is clear. Russia is taking space seriously as the next battlefield. You might be wondering why countries like Russia, and yes, others too, are suddenly focusing on militarizing space. Here's the deal. Space dominance equals global power. In today's world, controlling space means controlling information flow. Satellites handle everything from weather forecasts to missile guidance systems. If you can disrupt those, you've got a massive strategic advantage. The US-China race heats up. With both the United States and China advancing their own space-based technologies, including anti-satellite weapons, Russia likely sees itself playing catch-up while trying to stay ahead. No one wants to fall behind in the new space arms race. Cold War throwback. Remember Reagan's Star Wars program back in the 1980s? That was all about deploying missile defense systems in space. Fast forward to today, and we're seeing echoes of that era, but now with modern tech and higher stakes. In short, space isn't just the final frontier anymore, it's the ultimate high ground. Okay, let's geek out for a moment. How does something like this actually function? Imagine a satellite equipped with either a nuclear warhead or a nuclear propulsion system. Depending on its intended use, it could operate in several ways. Kinetic impact. Instead of using explosives, the weapon simply smashes into another satellite at orbital speeds, about 17,500 km/s. At those velocities, even a small object can obliterate a target. Explosive detonation. For larger-scale destruction, the nuke detonates near its target, creating a shock wave that obliterates nearby objects or disables them with radiation. EMP generation. A high-altitude nuclear explosion releases gamma rays that interact with Earth's atmosphere, generating a powerful electromagnetic pulse. This can knock out electronic devices over thousands of square miles below. Each method comes with risks, not just for adversaries, but also for global stability. After all, blowing stuff up in space creates debris fields that threaten every nation's assets, including Russia's own satellites. The million-dollar question. Believe it or not, there are rules about putting weapons in space, sort of. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967, signed by over 100 nations, including Russia, prohibits placing nuclear weapons or other weapons of mass destruction in orbit around Earth. However, the treaty doesn't explicitly ban conventional weapons or dual-use technologies like satellites that can serve peaceful and military purposes. So technically, Russia may argue that its new system complies with international law as long as the nuke isn't deployed prematurely. but critics say this is just legal jargon masking aggressive intentions. And given the lack of enforcement mechanisms, who's going to stop them? Let's face it, space weapons are inherently risky. Here's why everyone should be concerned. Kessler Syndrome. Blowing up satellites creates space debris, which can collide with other objects, creating even more debris. This chain reaction, known as Kessler Syndrome, could render entire orbits unusable for decades. Escalation risks. Once one country starts arming space, others will follow suit. We're already seeing signs of this with China testing anti-satellite missiles and the US developing countermeasures. Before you know it, we'll have an arms race in orbit. Global fallout. An accidental detonation, or worse, intentional use, could cause catastrophic damage on Earth. An EMP attack, for example, could plunge entire regions into chaos overnight. And don't forget the ethical implications. Should humanity really be turning the cosmos into a war zone? Or should we preserve space as a sanctuary for exploration and discovery? Unsurprisingly, reactions to Russia's announcement have been mixed. NATO allies and the United States have condemned the move, citing concerns about destabilization. Meanwhile, China remains tight-lipped, though insiders suggest Beijing is quietly accelerating its own space weapon programs. Even within Russia, opinions vary. Some see the project as a bold step toward securing national security, while others worry about the costs, both financial and diplomatic. After all, building and maintaining such advanced technology isn't cheap, and pissing off the rest of the world comes with consequences. So, where does this leave us? Is Russia's new nuke space weapon a legitimate breakthrough, or just saber-rattling aimed at boosting domestic morale? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. Humanity stands at a crossroads. Space holds incredible promise for progress, innovation, and unity, but only if we choose to prioritize peace over conflict. Next time you gaze at the night sky, remember that beyond the beauty lies a growing battleground. Will we rise to the challenge of protecting our shared future among the stars? Or will we repeat the mistakes of our past? Russia's new nuclear-powered space weapon represents a potentially destabilizing development in the militarization of space, raising concerns about anti-satellite warfare, EMP attacks, and global escalation risks. While legally ambiguous under current treaties, its deployment underscores the urgency of establishing stronger safeguards to prevent the cosmos from becoming a theater of war. Now go ahead, start conversations, ask tough questions, and keep dreaming of a better tomorrow. Because whether it's rockets or resolutions, the choices we make today will shape the destiny of generations to come.